I told you, silly hoes, that Virgil Ortiz was not afraid of Boots Enos. I told you, silly hoes. All you stupid ass, dumb ass metiches on Twitter that's been calling Virgil Ortiz a coward and saying he's scared and this and that. Y'all, all of y'all owe him an apology. Lalo THR, what's going down, everybody? January 19th, the big 2026, chilling. I'm not feeling too good right now. I actually got like a migraine. My wife is sick. I hope whatever the hell she has, she didn't give it to me. But if she did, I guess so be it. Gives me time to record my thoughts, talking boxing, talking wrestling. Virgil Ortiz suing Golden Boy Promotions, wanting out of his contract. And he has a case because it's not just Virgil against Golden Boy right now. It's also DAZN. You know, the home of boxing, or at least the self-proclaimed home of boxing. You know, they have been at it with Golden Boy as well, because it's been said that there is no deal renewal for Golden Boy Boxing on DAZN unless they deliver Virgil Ortiz and Boots Enos fight. You know, DAZN has a lot of, you know, they need a lot of big fights because they're introducing this new pay model. $500 a year gets you a pay-per-view every single month for the whole year. That shit is, I'm just gonna say it right now, that shit is not sustainable at all. That's not gonna work. First of all, there ain't even enough pay-per-view caliber fighters to put on 6 months worth, half a year's worth of pay-per-views, let alone a whole calendar year. They have lost their damn minds. This ain't WWE. You know what I mean? Like, WWE used to have a monthly pay-per-view model, but it's different because, first of all, WWE pay-per-views used to be substantially cheaper than boxing pay-per-views, you know, and then I remember at least WrestleMania was the only one that was like $60 or like $80 in HD, $70 in HD. All the other pay-per-views were typically like $49.99 or $39.99. I mean, it's still not cheap, but way cheaper than boxing pay-per-views typically have always been. But it worked. WWE's month-to-month pay-per-view model worked because it's a different business model. You have stories that you're seeing culminate, you know, storylines, scripts that you're seeing culminate. You know, because it's a weekly TV show that builds up a culmination of a story, which culminates at the pay-per-views. Boxing is different. Boxing is a legitimate sport with no scripted storylines. We do get storylines in boxing now, don't get it twisted, but it's not scripted. That's the thing. And not every fight has a story to tell, or, you know, a story building up to the fight at least. So it's a different thing. They can't do a month-to-month pay-per-view unless they start scripting some shit. That'll get people to buy the pay-per-view. I don't know, but that's not gonna work. That's all I'm gonna say. That pay-per-view model, that business model is not gonna work. It's 2026. Everything is streaming. Everything is subscription-based. And, you know, in that type of subscription, though, is just way too expensive. That don't make no sense. For boxing, like a sport that's not even popular anymore, like, come on, dog. That's ridiculous, you know? So, Golden Boy is stuck in between a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean? And it's very interesting because the manager for Virgil is also going to bat and also fighting against Golden Boy. And they've been going back and forth with these different, like, videos, small video clips. And it's very interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen something like this, because we have seen something like this before. With Golden Boy as well. Obviously, Canelo would leave Golden Boy. There was a lawsuit there, I'm pretty sure. Floyd Mayweather set the precedent, leaving Top Rank and trying to start his own promotions, Mayweather Promotion. What the hell happened to that company? But, yeah, Mayweather, judging by his current financial status, I don't think he's in a position to run a boxing promotion right now. He's in a lot of financial troubles. But Mayweather leaving Top Rank, there was a lawsuit there. Canelo leaving Golden Boy. Now Virgil Ortiz leaving Golden Boy. And there's been many other lesser known cases of this. This is not unprecedented. You know, this is something that's happened quite often in boxing. But what makes this the most interesting is the fact that it's It's based off of Virgil Ortiz, the man that everybody on boxing Twitter, well, not everybody, but a certain group of people on boxing Twitter, usual suspects, come out and call him a coward and say, oh, see, he knows Boots will whoop his ass and this and that. And now this man is coming out actually wanting to sue his promotional outfit and get out of his contract because he wants to fight Boots Enos, because he knows he could beat Boots Enos. Whether that's the case or not, in his mind, he believes he can beat Boots Enos and wants to fight him. And also, he has a case because he said that when they promised him a contract, well, not promised, when they had him under contract, it was promised to him big fights on the zone. He's had a few, right? The Madrimov fight, the Bohachuk fight, and the Erickson Lubin fight. I wouldn't necessarily describe them as like capital BIG big fights, but they were big fights. They were solid fights. But a fight with Boots Enos is, I don't want to say a massive fight, but it is capital BIG, a big fight. You know what I mean? This is a fight that can create a brand new star for the sport of boxing. I've been saying this for months now. If Virgil and Boots fight, the winner of said fight becomes the new face of boxing. That's what I truly believe, because both guys are likable and they're both, very, very entertaining to watch. That's the key. So this is very interesting, and I'm definitely going to keep up to date with this story and see where this goes, man, because you never know. We might actually get to see Boots and Virgil after all. If this lawsuit does not hinder Virgil from fighting, because remember Mikey Garcia, that's another case I forgot to mention. Mikey Garcia left Top Rank and he was embroiled in a lawsuit with Top Rank that rendered him inactive for like a whole 2 years at the prime of his career too, when he was really firing on all cylinders. He ended up going inactive for 2 years straight, because he was in a legal battle with Top Rank to get out of his to get out of his contract. So I hope to God we don't see a similar situation with Virgil. I hope they're able to work things out. Look at De La Hoya did with Ryan Garcia, albeit that relationship is tumultuous to say the least. He worked things out with him. He worked things out with, Ryan Garcia. Actually, it was a similar situation when Ryan wanted to fight Tank Davis. De La Hoya did not want Ryan to fight Tank Davis. And he's even come out recently. I said it, I think, in my last audio recording. He said it, that De La Hoya knew Ryan was going to lose that fight because of the rehydration clause that Tank had set in that fight. Left him at a big advantage, left Ryan at a big disadvantage. But Ryan was threatening to sue and was wanted to walk and this and that. And his manager were able to finally kind of coerce De La Hoya into making that fight. And, well, the rest is history. We see how that went, but at least it happened. I'm hoping we get a similar situation with Ortiz and Boots. And I could already hear in my mind right now all the Twitter haters like, see, you just said it. De La Hoya knows that Virgil can't beat Boots. Okay, whatever, bro. That's not the point. The point is Virgil ain't afraid of Boots. I don't give a fuck what De La Hoya thinks. I don't give a fuck what Rick Merrigan thinks or what any of the suits and ties think. The only thing that matters to me is that we see this fucking fight. Whether Virgil could beat Boots or not, I don't give a fuck. I want to see the fight. Win or lose, it's a good fight. Period. I don't care. Great fighters challenge themselves and fight fighters that, they're going to go in as the underdog. And, to me, that's a good look, even if you lose. And I honestly, with a Virgil and Boots fight, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I am kind of leaning towards Boots. But it's a fight that's really a pick-em, man. It could go either way. I think that people that go on Twitter saying that Boots would massacre Virgil, I don't know why they think that. Like, do you think that because of his fight with Lima? Because he blew some Portuguese taxi driver out the water in one round? I mean, that's not who Virgil is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what fights you guys are basing that on. Like, Boots hasn't fought anybody. Just respectfully, I gotta say it. Boots has not fought anybody. Literally, the only good fighter on his entire resume, I said it last video I uploaded, is Stanionis. That's literally the only good fighter he has on his resume. And that's being generous. That's being generous too, because I don't even think Stanionis is all that. Like, the last three opponents that Virgil just demolished, well, just beat Madrimov, Bohachuk, and he did demolish Erickson Lubin. I think all three of those dudes would beat Stanionis. Okay? So the point is, maybe Boots could beat Virgil. Maybe, like I said, I am leaning towards him, but I don't think he would knock the fuck out of Virgil or destroy him, or like, I don't understand where people get that idea from, based off of what? Like, who has Boots beat that makes you think that? You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't beat nobody that is on the level of Ortiz, or even on Ortiz's opponents. That's the problem. Like, and I like Boots. Don't get it twisted. I'm a fan of Boots. He's a entertaining guy, entertaining fighter. But, you know, again, it's just when fans on Twitter, you know, overhype and talk shit, and, you know, it's kind of entertaining sometimes, but then it gets annoying too. And, yeah, so I'm just saying, I don't know where people get that idea from. But Boots does look scary. He looks like Boots looks like he should be fighting at 168, not at 154. Come on, man. That dude looks way too big. Like, that's one reason I do favor him, because of the way he looks. Like, he just looks like a monster. He looks way too big for that division. He's too strong, too quick. You know, like, that dude should be fighting at 168 minimum. But nonetheless, I really want to see this fight happen. And once again, man, we're going to keep on track with this lawsuit as it proceeds.